Good morning. As my regular viewers will know, I live in a little place called Royston, about 50 miles north of London. And today I'm going on a long, slow run. Well, it might not be long, but it'll certainly be slow. So why not come with me and we'll explore this corner of North Hertfordshire. And even local people might find something they didn't know. Chuffed to bits. Isn't it amazing? Buns of steel and liver transplant, sand. Yeehaw! So Royston is in a little market town. It's on the intersection of two ancient roads. This one is known as Ermine Street. It was actually an ancient Roman road. It goes all the way from London to Lincoln and then on to York. When Queen Elizabeth I died, after Henry VIII, the new king was called King James I of England, but he was in fact James VI of Scotland. And that building I've just run past was his palace. That is King James's palace. So here we have the Royce stone, which is a stone made of rock that you only find in the Pennines. It's been here for over 1,000 years, so how did it get here? The other thing that Royston is most known for now is Royston Heath, or more accurately Therfield Heath, which is the next door village, and that's where we're heading to next. Before we actually get onto the heath, I mentioned that Royston's been here for a while. There's a little road down there with some new houses on it. Believe it or not, back in the early 1800s, that's where Royston Poorhouse stood. Poorhouse, sort of thing that you hear about in Charles Dickens novels. A place where poor people were looked after, given food and a place to sleep. But it wasn't like charity. In exchange for that, they needed to work, and work very hard. So Therfield Heath contains several sports pitches. It's also what they call chalk downland, and this is quite a rare habitat in the UK. And because it is rare habitat, it's the home to many rare species, and this whole area is very carefully managed by a charity, the conservators of Therfield Heath. Regular viewers will know this is an area where I start an awful lot of my trail run training, because it's not without its hills, and whatever the weather, it's always a pretty amazing place to come on your run. You get fantastic views over Hertfordshire, Cambridgeshire, Bedfordshire, and there's wonderful wildlife as well. So what I ran up just there was what they call a Bronze Age barrow. So I think they're burial mounds from the Bronze Age. When was the Bronze Age? About 4,000 years ago. Pretty amazing, huh? Over the sound of my feet slapping on the ground and my aged wheezing, you may be able to hear skylarks. Let me just stop, see if you can hear them. So this time of year, these birds make their nests, and the places that skylarks nest is on the ground. They're ground nesting birds, and there's quite a lot of ground nesting birds come here to the heath. And it's why at this time of year we're all advised, any visitors to Therfield Heath, we're all advised to stick to the footpaths and keep dogs on leads. This is also a racehorse gallops for local racehorse trainer whose name I've forgotten, apologies. I'll probably tell you more about that on another run. -1 at the moment, but expecting the weather to warm up a little bit, maybe 1 or 2 degrees Celsius, so just hovering around freezing for those who work in Fahrenheit. This particular farmer farms quite a lot of land in this area, but actually does it really sensitively, works really closely with the heath and with the local environment. They've got a herd of Dorset sheep, but they specifically got those sheep because they're perfect for grazing certain parts of the heath. You need the grass to be kept really short, grazed by rabbits or sheep, in order to protect that little layer, which is where all the rare plants and rare insects live. So farmers often get a lot of bad press, but this particular one, and many others around here I'm sure, are doing a lot to help preserve those endangered species and try and farm economically, profitably, while still protecting the land. So, I said this was supposed to be a long, slow run, and on my plan I was hoping to do about 15 miles. Even as long ago as Thursday I was still planning to do 13 or 14, but I've been feeling a bit run down all week. So when I get to the top of this hill, which sadly is a bit of a grinder, it's what we call Cardiac Hill, it's a bit of a tricky one, but when I get to the top of this hill I'm going to cut and turn for home and pull the run in at about 8.5 miles, something like that I think. Oh, always a bit of fun, eh? We're just skirting the village of Therfield, as in Therfield Heath, and I'll tell you more about that on another run. If I carry on down that path, we get to virtually the highest point in Hertfordshire, but I'm cutting it short, and we're heading back down what we call the Green Highway. Look at all these amazing teasels, incredible things. The really spikiness of those. We've just arrived back at the top of Therfield Heath, so we've been on a great big circle all the way around it, which hopefully you'll see when I get to the end of this rather slippery footpath. So excuse me if I pay some attention to my feet. So we've been round in one glorious great circle, and we're now back at the top of Therfield Heath. Whee! Nearly stacked it. Whip. Worth it for the view, eh? I mentioned that Royston was on the intersection of two ancient routes, Ermine Street, that Roman road, but also another one. It's called the Icknield Way. Why is it called the Icknield Way? Well, Icknield, they say, is a word derived from the Iceni tribe. So the Icknield Way is actually thousands of years old, and it may be that Queen Boadicea of the Iceni tribe rode her chariot through Royston High Street. There's a thought, eh? We're just about done. I've probably got about half a mile or so to go to get home. So I'll say thank you very much for joining me. So the last couple of videos I've told you that my next run is the Riverside 20, but the way I've been feeling today, I'm not sure that getting up at 4 in the morning and driving down to the River Thames and running 20 miles in 2 weeks' time is the best thing for me. So I'll wait and see how I feel next week, but I reserve the right to maybe cancel that, so apologies. But either way, I've entered another race, which is the 10 Bay Special in Margate, a 15-mile run around the East Kent coast on the beach and coastal path. So that's in about 4 weeks' time. So whatever, I'd love it if you came along with me. Thanks for coming with me on this one. I'm sorry I've cut it short, but do come along on the next one and I'll share with you more what I think is interesting information about some of the great places I'm running around. Just click subscribe, that'd be really helpful to me, and if you ping the notifications bell then you'll get notified whenever I post a new video. In the meantime, feel free to scroll to the channel and I will see you next time.